welcome back to the Citytilidie channel. I hope you're all staying safe and well on our regular World Cup updates with a sky blue constitution. Yes, there's a little bit of one today. Yeah, a few cameos and a few starters. Nothing overly exciting, but certainly exciting games. Yeah, they didn't see me. I mean, by about halfway through the second half of both these games, the 3 o'clock games, we'll talk about it first later on. Yeah, not that exciting, but by the time it finished, yeah, a little bit. Just got the old pulse increasing at least a little bit anyway. So we'll have a look at that, please. If you are new to the channel, push that subscribe button. It's normally everything City, of course. This is just a little bit of an addition thing, but obviously we do focus on the City players as well. So push that subscribe button, push the bell notifications. It'd be great to have you on board and spread the word. And if you get a little chance, guys, just push that little like button there, that little thumbs up. It makes an old City fan very, very happy. Right, here we go. Yeah, before we look at the results for December the 2nd, match day 3, the finish of it. Yes, our final 4 for the round of 16. We do look forward now to a couple of games. The first 2 games in the round of 16, yeah, they're going to be played on the 3rd of December. 2 games. We start with the 3 p.m. kickoff. So not as much football. I don't have to have eyes looking different ways now, looking at monitors, looking at laptops and tellies. So that's not too bad. At least I can concentrate on one game now. Yeah, the Saturday 3 p.m. kickoff on the 3rd of December is Netherlands versus the USA. Netherlands are the 10 to 11 favourites. Fair enough. USA 10 to 3. The draw is at 23 to 10. That's in 90 minutes, of course. This is at the Khalifa Stadium. Netherlands start favourites, but not significantly so. As you see there, it's evens are around. You know, it's not exactly odds on, is it? Yeah, Netherlands are unbeaten. 2-0 wins against Senegal and Qatar, and a slightly disappointing draw with Ecuador, of course, which was a bit of a damp squib, that one. USA draws against Wales and England, of course, and finished with victory over Iran. So that's what took them through. And the problem with the Dutch is there's a lack of shots. That's one of the biggest problems so far in 3 games. They're converting the chances well, especially you got Gakpo, who's everyone's raving about Gakpo, aren't they? He's impressing. Aki, of course, is on a yellow for this as well, so he's got to be careful because he could miss the next game if he gets another yellow. So, but I do expect Aki to start in this game. I think both managers will try and go for an unchanged team from last time out. Significantly, though, it's the USA might have a little problem because their little talisman Pulisic, whichever way you pronounce it, it's still the sort of day-by-day thing. He was confident of getting back into this immediately after the last game, but he could be a big doubt. And I think without him, I don't give them that much chance. With him, I think they have got a reasonable chance, but I think overall the Dutch should still be too strong for them. And the 7 p.m. kickoff on Saturday, the 3rd of December 2022, is Australia. I won't do the accent. Australia versus Argentina. Australia 16 to 1. There's a price. Argentina are 1 to 5 on. No surprise there. A draw is 6 to 1. It's at the Ahmed Bin Ali Stadium. Of course, Argentina have seen off Mexico and Poland after the shock defeat to Saudi Arabia, which, let's face it, they probably had about 30 shots to Saudi Arabia's 4 or 5. I'm not too sure of the stats, but it was just one of those games, wasn't it? But likewise, Australia, they won their last 2 as well, Tunisia and Denmark, after losing to one of the favourites, France, 4-1 on match day 1, of course. So they've done very, very well. We know the Aussies will be brave. They'll have a go. But I can't see past a resurgent Argentina for this one. Hopefully Alvarez will get another shot at this, although he may start this again on the bench. I'm not too sure what he's going to do with this. Both teams played on the 30th of November, so there's no advantage there. No one's had a longer rest. Argentina did kick off a little bit later. I don't think that's very significant. And I think, yeah, with the stronger squad for the South Americans, it's not a big problem anyway. And anything other a comfortable win for Argentina, for me, will be a big shock. I'm sure the Aussies will have a go, but I think Argentina sort of bedding themselves in now, and I think we'll see some good things going forward. As yeah, they're not certainly one of the favourites now, aren't they? We'll have a look at the odds to win the trophy after the round of 16 when we get down to the quarterfinals. Right, on to the 3 p.m. kickoff. Still, obviously, the couple of groups to sort out. We've got Group H, which was the first game was South Korea, 10-3 against favourites. 10-3 against Portugal, who were the 3-4 on favourites. So 3-1 the draw. Of course, South Korea start in third place. So an outside chance. 1 point minus 1 goal difference. And Portugal, of course, were top. Made a few changes today, rested a few players, had a +3 goal difference as well, Portugal. So they've already qualified. This was at the Education City Stadium, and it's just Cancelo starting from the City side. His game, yeah, nothing overall. Overall, Portugal were pretty average today. I think all the changes that were made. They did actually bring Bernardo on late on as well, but not enough time to do too much. And yeah, Portugal and Cancelo was the same. I thought he didn't get much of the ball out on that left hand side. He wasn't utilised that much, and defensively, I say we very rarely saw him in defence. But just a bit of a bang average game from Portugal. Hard to tell on that one. And I say Cancelo, nothing outstanding. So the game kicked off. It was a bit easy. It looks as though it could be a cakewalk for Portugal. It's 1-0 after just 5 minutes. Across from the right was side-footed in by Horta. But South Korea, if anything, they still have a go, don't they? They try a lot, and on 27 minutes they were back in it as a young Guan, his name I think, scores from close range from a corner that Portugal just failed to clear. So. And that was it, really. There wasn't that many chances in the first half, 1-1. There wasn't that many chances in the second half either, because the most exciting thing I've got down here was Bernardo coming on 82 minutes. So it just looked as though it was just going to fizzle out, this game. But there was a sting in the tail. And yeah, it was that guy called Son, wasn't it? Unbelievable. 91 minutes, a corner Portugal. It didn't end up, I think they had 2 men back. And obviously they ended up having about 7 or 8 men back compared to South Korea's 2 that eventually got up front. But he just legged it. Son just legged it from his own half after the corner broke down. Ended up with about 7 men on him at one stage. And the guy He Chan, can he do it? Yes, he can. That's what they said on the comments. I'm only copying what they said. He put a superb ball through. I say surrounded by 7 men, he nutmegged one player and round another player. And He Chan's run was superb. He was onside. He just ran onto it and smacked it past the goalkeeper. Absolutely brilliant goal. If you haven't seen it, I'm sure you have seen it, but fantastic. And Son, for once, does what we've seen him do for Tottenham, certainly against us anyway. So that was 2-1. I mean, they had an agonising wait, of course, but they won 2-1. Portugal were poor, with admittedly a weaker team, but I mean it's all about sort of keeping momentum going, isn't it? And that was poor from Portugal today. So it ended South Korea 2, Portugal 1. The XG philosophy, XG philosophy, 1.73 for South Korea and 1.4 for Portugal. So there you go. That sort of about sums it up. Of course, Portugal, despite the loss, qualified in top spot, and I don't think it's a spoiler alert, is it? South Korea. That meant they finished second, yes, because on goal difference, and they beat Uruguay to that spot, which we were going to have a talk about in a minute. And I was so chuffed, I must admit. I don't like Uruguay. I just don't like the football they play. I think it's horrible. Anyway, so well done South Korea, and well done Portugal. So we'll have a look later on at the end of this little show, once we've had a look at the last 2 games later as well, what that means for the last 16. And yeah, Ghana, who were 19-5 against Uruguay, 8-11 on favourites, 11-4 the draw. The bookies were pretty right on this one, but we didn't know what was going to happen, did we? Ghana were currently second with 3 points with a 0 goal difference, but Uruguay, of course, were bottom, 1 point with a -2. This was at the Al Janoub Stadium. 18 minutes, a VAR monitor check, pen given to Ghana. So good to see Suarez having a good whinge, and that's what he was doing. And he took the penalty, awful penalty. Good save, but just an awful penalty. Interestingly enough, Nunez was booked for scuffing the penalty spot. He's it's just another mad ass. That's what I don't like about the South Americans. We know they're temperamental, but Uruguay have always been the same. dirty, horrible. There was one where one of their players left his studs in on a Ghana player. Just shocking. I say, scuffing the penalty spot. When did this start? For me, they should get sent off. If they do something like that, it should be a straight red card. I'm sorry, that's what it should be if it's spotted. I'm sure there's enough cameras, enough linos and refs to spot it. So anyway, they missed the penalty, unfortunately. 23 minutes, Nunez beats the keeper, but superbly cleared before it could cross the line. 26 minutes, not long to wait though. Uruguay did get a goal, which they probably did deserve. They did have the better of the play. Nunez' shot was saved, and it was headed in from close range by Arrasqueta. And it's Arrasqueta again with a lovely strike on 31 minutes. And Uruguay double the lead. And that was probably the problem for Uruguay. They made the assumption it was half time, it's 2-0 Uruguay. And they just sit back. They just think job's done. They don't expect Korea to do anything in the other game against Portugal. And this 2-goal lead, to sit back is not the best. Yes, that's what they can do, but they can't change years of that mindset, can they? That's what Uruguay do. That's what they've always done, this sort of defensive, and do, when they need to score, they try, but otherwise they just sit back and wait. And it was a big, big mistake, as we were to find out. Probably didn't think that going into injury time of the games, because I say the career was from nowhere. But Ghana tried, but obviously half chances came both ways. Uruguay still had chances to score as Ghana put more men up and got more desperate. And as time ticks by, Uruguay are happy, and then they realise all of a sudden they need to score because the back of the Korea are winning. South Korea are winning. They need to score, and all of a sudden, they start again. Absolutely ridiculous from Uruguay. They thoroughly deserve what happened to them. And of course, Ghana didn't go up on the basis that there was more room being created. At times, when Uruguay were on the attack, they had more men than Ghana had in defence, because Ghana were that desperate to try and get a couple of goals to get through themselves. It never looked like happening. But I just thought their willingness to attack is going to give Uruguay the chance to get goals here. And so in the 8 minutes of injury time, it was literally end to end. And of course, Uruguay didn't sneak that goal. It finished 2-0. To Uruguay, which wasn't enough. Simple as that. Uruguay players surround and harangue the officials. I'm so happy they went out. Horrible. XG, Ghana 1.38, Uruguay 1.68. And of course, both teams are going home. Neither of those teams get through to the next round. And as I said, in Uruguay's case, I'm happy. Sorry for Ghana. I think Ghana give it a good go. A little bit sorry for them that they're back, but at least they had a go. All credit to them. Right, on to the 7 p.m. kickoffs now. What delights do we have in store then? In Group G, we had Serbia 13-8 to beat Switzerland 9-5. So it thought to be a close one. This, the bookies were quite right. 23-10 the draw. Serbia, of course, sat bottom, 1 point minus 2 goal difference. The Swiss sat second on 3 points with a 0 goal difference. This was in Stadium 974. And for Switzerland, the Kanji starts, of course. Switzerland, yes, a great start. I think within the first 30 seconds, he had 3 shots blocked. So certainly a lively start. But Serbia settled and obviously had the first real clear-cut opportunity when they hit the post on 10 minutes. A shot by Zitrovic from 25 yards with the keeper. Absolutely nowhere. Serbia take the game to the Swiss, but it's Shaqiri who fires in by a slight deflection. It was certainly on target. Whether it would have beat the keeper, I'm not too sure. So that made it 1-0 to Switzerland. On 27 minutes, Serbia bounced back, and it's Mitrovic, who else, with a well-placed header into the far corner. A bit of a mad ass, though, isn't he? We were talking about Uruguay mad asses before. Mitrovic is another one. 35 minutes, Vlahovic makes it 2-1. It all looks very good, doesn't it, after an error by the Swiss? But he took it very, very well. 44 minutes, so Mbolo has a tap in after a good play down the right, and it's 2-2. So they're going at half time, 2-2, all to play for both teams. 48 minutes, some great play around the Serbia box, and a bit like watching Pep's team, a bit like watching City around that Serbia box, and a simple left foot strike by Frula makes it 3-2 for the Swiss. 66 minutes. I have no idea what happened. I've not gone back and listened. I had to shoot straight to bed after watching this game last night because I was up at 2 a.m. So just at 66 minutes, the whole Serbian bench were sort of on the pitch remonstrating. Something had obviously gone off somewhere, but I have no idea what the problem was. But unbelievable, as I said, that Serbia, perhaps they're going to be my second less favoured club after Uruguay. I'm not too sure. I wasn't overly impressed with their attitude last night. Anyway, put it that way. I mean, certainly when they're chasing the game, I mean, let's just wait, let's just cause chaos, and we know they're adding time, but they're never going to add the right amount of time. So very odd, very odd. So just desserts really getting beat. There was a plus 7 minutes extra time or injury time. But it finished Serbia 2, Switzerland 3. Excellent stuff by Switzerland. Well done. And especially happy for Akanji, of course. And deserved as well. Serbia said lost not just that event, of course. They just lost the composure. Simple as that. So I'm glad the Swiss got through. The XG at XG Philosophy. Serbia 1.27. So they performed a little bit better, and the Swiss 2.91, so they performed a little bit better as well. And Serbia finished bottom of the group then with 1 point, and the Swiss qualified second. Happy days. So one of those things where the guys who obviously playing in the other group, we had a little bit of a shaky moment as time ticked on. But not the most stressful one we've had over the last couple of nights, that's for sure. So Swiss qualify second on 6 points behind Brazil, only on goal difference, so excellent by them. Akanji, not as obvious as earlier games, I don't think, in this one. He looks a little bit out of it for one of the goals as well. I don't know, I think he was confused as to who he was supposed to be marking, but generally okay. I think he's done really well so far, so I'm looking forward to him in the next round. On to the other game, of course, features a team already qualified. Cameroon was 7-1 against to beat Brazil, who were 2-5 on, which I thought Brazil would play a much weaker team, which they did. 4-1 the draw, of course. Brazil had already qualified no matter what happened. Cameroon were third on -1 goal difference. Brazil, top 6 points, qualified with a +3 goal difference. This was at Stadium 974. Great to see Ederson in goal. And Jesus got a start for Brazil as well. And it was much change. I don't know how many changes they made, but I couldn't recognise. Most of the guys started, I didn't recognise from the other game, that's for sure. 14 minutes, a good save from Martinelli. Yeah, Martinelli was quite lively. I think he was trying to take him on his own. 48 minutes. Ederson, a good save, yeah, from a Cameroon header. It looked better when it first, during the game, but then when you watch it back, it doesn't look quite as impressive. But a good header for Ederson to keep his clean sheet intact at half time. So a good half for Ederson, some nice footwork as well, as you'd expect, plus one diving punch out from a cross early on that was quite spectacular. He got some good distance on it, and that good save we talked about. So he was doing okay. All Brazil in the second half, but Cameroon sort of show they can still spring a surprise, can't they? 56 minutes, Martinelli, another effort for Brazil. I think that was his third save by the keeper today. And the keeper, I don't know what he was doing, almost fumbles it over his own line from a simple shot, but he got away with that one. 64 minutes, yeah, Jesus went off. Not the Jesus I was used to watching playing for City, that's for sure. A quiet game. And we've got 9 minutes injury time. Yeah, so not a lot of action in either of these games in normal time. 93 minutes, and it's 1-0. Well, there's the action. Abubakar, is it? I don't know how you pronounce that. A great header. And in all fairness, I don't think Alisson wouldn't have stopped it. I don't think even I wouldn't have stopped it. Yeah, it's just a fantastic header. Ederson didn't even move. He just obviously just stood there. A fantastic header at pace. Unmarked in the box, got away from any markers, and he tore his shirt off. And of course, he was on a yellow, the idiot, so he got a red card as well, which didn't matter in the end. But at the end of the day, they were going out anyway, so it didn't really matter. But all right, I suppose he knew that when he ripped his shirt off and he got a red card. But a bit idiotic for me in something as high profile as this. Brazil. Too many chances and no real end product today, no flow today, as you'd expect from a very changed team. We won't see this Brazil in the next game, that's for sure. But yeah, very unimpressive today. And Cameroon did very, very well. They did what they had to do. They hung on in there and did the sucker punch, didn't they? Edison, let's go back to Edison. Yeah, hard to fault him, really. I'm not going to fault him for the goal. I'm sure some will, because that's how it works. Yeah, so he made one very good save, and he made a couple of say with his feet. He was fine. There's no real problems. But obviously, Alisson is going to be back for the next game. I thought it doesn't really matter how well or how badly Edison plays. I think Alisson, obviously, at this point in time, is the number one, and he will be for the big games, which will include the next one. And it finished Cameroon 1, Brazil 0. The XG, that's XG philosophy, Cameroon 0.81. Brazil 2.47, so that just shows how the finishing was pretty woeful. And some good keeping as well at times, but yeah, not good. Brazil still, of course, qualified top spot on goal difference then. And Cameroon finished third on 4 points. So I think they should be quite happy with that. And of course, we've got all the round of 16 sorted out now. We talked about the Netherlands, USA, and Australia, Argentina early on. And to finish off the round of 16 now, at 3 p.m. Sunday, we've got France versus Poland. 7 p.m. Sunday, we've got Senegal versus England, of course. 3 p.m. Monday, we've got Japan versus Croatia. 7 p.m. on Monday, we now know it's going to be on the 5th of December, South Korea versus Brazil in Stadium 974. 3 p.m. Tuesday is Morocco versus Spain. And of course, we now know that 7 p.m. on Tuesday, 6th of December, is Portugal versus Switzerland at the Lusail Stadium. So we're looking forward to it. So we've only got 2 games a day now, so a bit easy to do other things. It's quite hard when you're watching a laptop and watching the TV as well when games are on at the same time. But hey, that's just how it is. It's just have to. All good fun. You got to be, and they say men can't multitask. What are these women on about? Unbelievable. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Who's impressed you? Let me know your thoughts. Let me know who you think's going to win. Anyone you fancy for City? Let's see. Anyone you've been watching, you think, hey, I wouldn't mind him at City. So there you go. We've still got 14 players in. Of course, KD being Gundogan coming home, but we've still got 14. Of course, we're going to lose. We're going to lose one in Portugal against Switzerland, aren't we? Or 2, depending who goes through on that one. Morocco versus Spain. Obviously, we've only got one interest in that. South Korea, Brazil. Edison's not going to have out to do with it anyway. So yeah, obviously Senegal and England, we could lose 5, couldn't we, in one go? But we'll see. As I say, we've got still got 14 playing. So let's see what happens and we need them back as quick as we can, don't we? But all right, they're playing for the countries, aren't they? So all there's to it. Thanks for watching, guys. Please, until we meet again, I want to ask one thing, Noah. Please stay safe, everyone. Bye for now.